Hi everyone, Tori here today with a December daily video. I just want to preface this by saying if you're my mom, you need to stop watching right now because I'm going to be sharing your Christmas present. So, mom, see you later. Everybody else, welcome to today's video. As I kind of shared with you, I am creating a project today that is going to be for my mom's Christmas present. So, I kind of interrupt your regularly scheduled December daily videos where I've been showing my December daily book or album, and I kind of wanted to pop in today with something a little different. Today I'm going to share this Christmas present that I made, but I don't think you would need to use it as a Christmas present. You could make it for yourself for decor, you can make it as a present for somebody else. Or I was actually thinking that you could kind of do something like this for your December daily. And I actually think it would be a really fun alternative to the regular album that everybody is doing. And the other thought I had was if you are the kind of person who really wants to do December daily but hasn't gotten around to it and now you're kind of feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to do this. Or if you're feeling kind of like, I don't have photos for every day, I have photos for most of them, but not for every day, and I want to kind of document them in some way, but maybe not a December daily per se, like where you have an album and you do a photo every day. This kind of project might be a great solution for you. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video and that you'll forgive me for kind of taking a little break from my December daily album. I hope that today's video really inspires you. I had so much fun creating this project, so I'm just so excited. So there's kind of like two reasons why I decided to create today's project. The first one is I was in Michael's and I saw this amazing thing. It's a Clip It carousel by Tim Holtz, which I'm going to show you later. And I thought, oh my goodness, I need that. I want to create a project right now with it. And so I purchased that. So that's part of the reason why I'm creating today's project. The other reason why I'm creating today's project is because I feel like there are so many old family photos from Christmas time that are nowhere. Like, my mom doesn't scrapbook, so there's no scrapbooks or albums. I haven't really done a lot of scrapbooking of our old family photos, and so I kind of just felt like all of these old family photos from when we were kids are like sitting in a box or on Facebook or whatever, and they're nowhere to be seen, and it kind of just broke my heart. Like, I wanted to put them on something. So I thought it would be really fun to make this Christmas present for my mom using the Tim Holtz Clip It carousel, which is basically like the stand where you can clip all these things to it, and to use old family photos. And then, kind of the third reason, I know I said there was two, but there's also a third reason for this. A couple days ago, I shared in one of my videos that I taught my first ever scrapbooking class in a physical store. I taught a class on mixed media tags. And one of the things that I wanted to create for the class was some samples of how the participants could use their mixed media tags, because we were making the mixed media tags and decorating them for Christmas, but I wanted to give them some ideas of how they could use it. So as you can see, I've started today's project with getting out a whole bunch of old family photos. I printed them on matte photo paper, just on my regular printer, and I printed them all black and white. I knew that I was going to have a lot of color in this project, so I wanted to keep the photos kind of consistent and classy looking, because I knew that my mom would kind of appreciate that. And that way it wouldn't matter that some of the photos were older or newer, and because these photos really do span like many, many years. So I'll slow it down at some point and show it to you, but basically some of these photos are from like when I was a little kid and my brother and sister were little, so I would say these photos are from at least the past 29 years. So I knew that some of the photos were better quality than others, some had bright colors, some were darker, and just making them all black and white just kind of kept them all consistent and looking really pretty. So I took all of those photos, made them black and white, printed them off, And then what I'm doing here is I took all of those mixed media tags that I made and the photos, and I'm starting to glue them together. And I kind of wanted to include this in the video, but I also want the video to be fairly quick because otherwise we would be here for many hours. So it is really sped up, but when I get to the decorating part, I will slow it down a little bit for you guys, and then I'll have a slowed down video later that you guys can check out as well. So I grabbed those mixed media tags. I backed some of them with the green cardstock, others I backed with photos. And then what I did was I went through my December daily kit or stash for this year, and I pulled out a whole bunch of different shipping tags, shipping labels, envelopes, bags, tags, you name it, I pulled it out. And I decided to kind of just take the photos one by one and glue them to one of those tags, stick it in a bag or do whatever, and kind of figure out where each photo was going to go. And I figured after I put all of the photos in tags or bags or on envelopes or wherever, then I could decorate them. But I kind of wanted to take care of the photo part first. So I know I'm gonna have a couple of questions. So the first thing I want to say is if you head over to my blog, toribissel.com, I'm gonna have close-up videos, a close-up video as well as close-up photos of this project. So if you want to check out anything in more detail, feel free to do that. Again, that's toribissel.com. There's a link in the description. The other thing that I wanted to say about this project is that it did take me quite a bit of time. I think in total, like printing, cutting the photos, making the mixed media tags, it was about a 5-6 hour project, 5 or 6, but spread out. Like I didn't just sit there for 6 hours. I kind of like did like an hour here making the mixed media tags, and then I did an hour here editing photos and printing them off and cutting them apart, and then I did more time later. So I would say maybe like 5 hours. Yeah. So it wasn't as bad as it kind of sounds like when I say it all together. And it's a Christmas present, so to me it's worth it. And I had so much fun making it, and the finished product just makes me so happy that I'm glad I did it. Like really glad. So yeah. So I had a lot of photos, so what I decided to do was some of them I just kind of stuck in envelopes, and I figured the project could kind of be a little bit interactive. Like some of the envelopes, like this one here, there will be a photo on the outside, but on the inside there's 4 or 5 photos, so you could open up the envelope and pull out the photos and look at it. And I just think it'll be a really fun like centerpiece or a really fun decorative Christmas item. So some of the photos I am matting and sticking on the tags or in the bags or on the envelopes. Some of them I'm just gluing on directly, and then some of them, as you can see, I've been just paper clipping on. I really wanted to make it different, like variety, and so I kind of tried to do everyone just a little bit different. Like some of the photos, like this one, I'm going to just like stick right in a tag and make like a pull-out piece, which is kind of fun. So it's different every single time. Often I get the question of like, how do you think that quickly, or how do you come up with your ideas? And the truth is, like, I kind of just play, and I have personally found from my own perspective, the more I play, the more I practice with my supplies. I know practice sounds like a weird word, but it kind of is like practicing, like you're doing the project. The more that I do that, the easier decision making comes for me, and the more I just enjoy it. And I just figure, like, for a project like this, I didn't want to spend a ton of time making decisions about like which photo to glue to which tag, because I really just wanted to get to the embellishment part. Like layering these photos on the tags was like the kind of the boring part in comparison to getting to decorate the tags and those kind of things. So yeah, I don't know, that's just me. I mean, other people are different, but I don't know, that's what worked for me. So what I'm going to do is, I know that this is really sped up and I'm not necessarily talking about any of the specific photos. The reason is just because this video would be way too long if I did. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the voiceover for a little bit and just put you on voiceover while I wrap up adding all of those photos to the tags, bags, and envelopes. And when I come back, I'll talk a little bit about my embellishment process. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. You'll notice that I ended up matting a bunch of the photos, and I did want to just mention that most, if not all, of those mats and that paper that I used came from my scrap bin of Christmas papers. So now I'm going to work on some embellishments. So to do the embellishments, I kind of just grabbed out what I had in my stash to see what I thought would work well. And I did take a little break there, and I skipped part of the video just because I knew that you guys wouldn't want to watch it for a really long time. But I decided to ink all of the edges of these things. So I used brown chalking ink and just inked the edges of all of them, just kind of tie them together. And I feel like it just finished off the edges there. And now I'm just kind of going through the different die cuts and vellum pieces and acetate pieces and different things that I have and sticking them on. And really, I know this is going to sound kind of funny, but there wasn't really any rhyme or reason. I grabbed my jar of acetate pieces and looked through and was like, oh, I like this one. And then I pulled it out and I looked for a photo that it would look good on and stuck it down. Like here, I had this box and I had all of these old gold frames that I've had for a while, and I'm missing like the backs of them. I just had the front of the frame, so I just kind of pulled some out that I liked and then looked for a photo that it would match on, and then I stuck it down. Or I found some old DIY embellishments I made. I did a channel series a while ago of DIY embellishments. You can check out the playlist on my channel if you're interested in that. And so I used some of those that I had sticking around, or I had this black and white bow from the Felicity Jane kit. I was like, that would look cute, and then I just kind of looked for where I thought it would look good. I feel like this kind of helped my process move a little faster because I wasn't being overly critical with myself or trying too hard to try to make things work. Instead, I just kind of opened up the box, looked for something that I was like, oh, this is cute, and then put it somewhere. I had this like ho ho ho, for example, and I knew that I probably wasn't going to get used in my December daily just because I'm an adult and don't see Santa usually. But I knew there was photos of us from kids when we saw Santa. Or there was this really cute deer that I glued on a little while that's so adorable but also really chunky that I knew it wasn't going to fit in my December daily, so I stuck that there. And then if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I'm not doing green this year in my December daily. So basically any of the embellishments or Christmas things that I had in my kit or stash that were green, I kind of stuck on because I was like, I'm not going to use this anywhere else, so I might as well stick it somewhere, right? Like I had some die cuts of green Christmas trees and I stuck those on. I also had my little bag of ribbons and twines that were kind of Christmassy sitting beside me, and tried to find places when I could use those ribbons and twines and things like that, and just kind of played around and saw what looked good. I had these 3 little tags that I wanted to add somewhere, and I thought it would be kind of cute to make them like they were hanging off one of the photos. So I just grabbed some twine, added it there, punched some holes into the photo and that tag there using my crocodile, and then strung those little tags through those holes. And I feel like it kind of looks like ornaments hanging from the tag. I don't know, I kind of just played it and went until I liked what I saw and used all the embellishments that I kind of wanted to use, and until I felt like every photo looked complete enough. I don't add any journaling or labels or dates or things to these photos. You definitely could. I just didn't really feel like I wanted to journal. Like I didn't necessarily have a lot to say about some of these photos. I don't know the dates for all these photos. My parents probably would do a better job at that. So if they really wanted to go back later and add the dates to all these photos, I'd be happy to like pull out my date stamp and stamp them all with the date. But for now, I'm just going to leave them dateless and journal-less. And my focus was primarily to focus on the photos and pretty embellishments like buttons. So I knew that I love buttons, and they were sitting on my desk. So I grabbed some of my red and green / like mint colored ones and stuck a whole bunch of those on multiple photos. So I love those buttons. And I think using the same embellishment in multiple places on this Clip It carousel also ties it all together. So I'm obviously using traditional Christmas colors, red and green and a little bit of like yellow or gold. And so I feel like it ties together really well because of that. I also had this whole like bowl of gold star sequins that I used on the cover of my December daily. I had so many of them left that I thought, oh, I can use these in a ton of places. So you'll see me hot glue those stars on a bunch of them. Next, I went through my die cut bin and grabbed out some of those. I feel kind of bad about this video because I feel like I'm not being super specific about my thought process or how I came to decide what to stick where. The only thing I can really say to explain this is I had Christmas music on, I was playing, it was late at night, and I just kind of pulled out embellishments that looked pretty to me and stuck them somewhere. So the reason I can't really be more specific about my process is because there isn't really a more specific way to explain this, because I wasn't really necessarily like thinking super critically about where to put things. I just kind of grabbed what I thought would look pretty and then found a place for it to go. Like this star, I was like, I really like this star, I want to use it somewhere. So you'll see that I like pick up a ton of different tags and play with them until I'm like, meh, it doesn't go anywhere, and I put it away. So that's kind of how I decorated all of these tags, is I just kind of picked something up that I thought I liked and I wanted to use and then used it. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the process for it. Next, I grabbed out some wood veneers and I added a little bit of wood veneers onto some of these photos. I don't have a ton of wood veneer, but I had some hearts that I stuck down. And then I thought it would be fun to use some of my Christmas washi, or the washi that came in my Felicity Jane kits for Christmas. And I just grabbed those out and stuck them on a number of tags. And I feel like that was another way to kind of bring cohesiveness to all of these different tags, was to use the same washi on numerous tags. And I kind of just ripped it, stuck it down, and I used 2 different black and white washi tapes, and both of those are from my Felicity Jane Hello Dear, Hello Christmas, or Oh Dear kits, which were the November and then the Christmas kits. I also had these label words, and I knew that they probably weren't going to get used just because I really struggled to use those. So I decided to grab some of those out that fit some of the sentiments, and I put those down. So I guess that's a little bit of journaling, titling work, but not really, because that's probably the totality of the words that end up on these cards. I also had some leftover cork from last year that I got at Freckled Fawn, and a Christmas tree and an ornament, and I stuck those down with my hot glue gun. I primarily use my hot glue gun to stick everything down here. That and like paper clips and my stapler. So I also had a couple of things left over from last year's December daily kit from Allie, like these tiny word stickers in green. And I knew that they weren't going to get used this year because I'm not using green. So I figured, why not use all of them or most of them up on this project, my Christmas present for my mom. And it worked well because there were words like tradition and family and happy and wonder and joy and magic. And it worked really well to just kind of stick those all throughout the project in numerous places. And I feel like it adds that finishing touch of something to my projects. And I figured, why not try to use as many of them as I possibly could, because they're not going to get used this year. And I like to use up my stash. I know there's some people who like to hoard it, but I'm the kind of person that I'm like, if I love it, use it. If I don't love it, either get rid of it or find a way to use it. That's kind of like how my thought process, because I don't have a huge craft space, so I need to keep my embellishments and my papers and my stash in check. And one of the ways that I do that is either by like making sure that I use things or getting rid of them if I don't. And typically like 4 or 5 times a year, I'll just fill a box of stuff that I don't want anymore and give it away, or things that were gifted to me that I can't use. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you buy things because they inspire you and then you don't actually like them later. Or somebody gives you a gift and you didn't actually like it. Or you got something in a kit that just isn't you. So I'd rather give those to somebody who would love them and appreciate them than keep them in a stash for no reason. And then the next step of my creative process here was to add some enamel dots. So I just grabbed out my large stash of enamel dots and started gluing them on in multiple places. I used black, gold, red, green enamel dots and just kind of stuck them all over the place. I just feel like it's like a sprinkling of happiness everywhere I go. And I did glue those down with my hot glue gun just because I wanted them to be a little more secure. So I've slowed down the video now just so that I can kind of hold up each of the different photo, card, envelope, tag, embellishment thingamabobbers that I made, just so you can kind of get a better look. And then after I do this slowed down version where I show you each of them, I'm also going to show you what they look like all clipped to my Clip It carousel and standing up, because that's really fun. You want to see what the end product looks like, right? So I hope that you guys have really enjoyed this process. I hope that you learned something. I hope that it inspires you. Often I will have people leave comments on YouTube, on my blog, or on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, saying, hey Tori, do you mind if I scrap lift this, or could I steal this idea, or could I do the same thing? And I just want to say, if you're watching this video and you're like, hey, I love something that Tori's created, I wonder if it's okay for me to copy her, the answer is yes. Absolutely yes, yes, yes. Honestly, I don't make these videos to be famous. I don't make the videos for my own personal enjoyment. I make them for you guys. My whole heart desire between making these videos and sharing my projects is that I would be able to inspire other people, that I would be able to give you ideas and encourage you and help you feel better about your day, that I would be able to help people who feel like they're not good enough realize that they are, because I don't necessarily feel good enough, and I just want to really inspire people. So if what I've created inspires you and you want to copy it, scrap lift it, do whatever, or you're inspired by it, like please, please, please take those ideas and run with them. I'd actually absolutely love to see what you've created. So if you create something inspired by something I've done, please share it with me. You can tag me on Facebook, Instagram, you can email me a message, copy a link in the description or below and share your projects with me, because I definitely would love to see you create something that was inspired by me. Whether it's this or one of my December Daily or my Scrap Your Scraps videos or anything I've created, I'd love to see what you come up with. So I hope that you guys have really enjoyed this video. I hope that it inspires you and that you have a lovely day. Check back tomorrow for a December Daily video. I promise I'll be back tomorrow with a December Daily. And I hope you have a lovely day. I'm going to finish off the video just with some music as I show you the Clip It carousel. So see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day.